Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in today's episode of The Hypnotist, you're going to be listening to a weight loss hypnosis session that was created for a client that had constantly battled and struggled with their weight, and they felt that a lot of their weight issues came from their childhood. A lot of it was based on certain expectations or connotations linked to being a child or throughout their teenage years, feelings of expectation or pressure or even unwanted male attention as a result of being slim. So all of these things can have their impacts and kind of play out across someone's life, because the brain is pretty good at trying to protect against undesirable emotions or outcomes. And sometimes the brain will figure out that, food can help people feel more comfortable or potentially reduce their risk. None of which has to be true. It just has to be perceived to be true. And then that can change thoughts, emotions, and behavior. So in this particular session, it is all based around weight loss, but it's mainly about letting go of emotional baggage of the past. And this actually uses, rather than suitcases or bags that I've used in previous sessions, the idea of empty large buckets, and it's almost like a liquid representation of these emotions. And it also taps into a place that they had good connotations with, which is the beach and near the ocean. So you're going to hear some references to that. So if you feel that you're carrying a lot of emotional weight, baggage from the past that's still affecting your present, or maybe leading you to seek out food or other substances, could be alcohol, could be recreational drugs, as a coping strategy, then you might benefit from this session. So just, again, steer it in the direction that things that are not relevant for you, ignore, and things that are, really hone in. And of course, if you do like the idea of a bespoke session, then you can schedule that free consultation call by looking in the show notes or going to my website, which is adamcox.co.uk. For now, though, find a quiet, comfortable place where you won't be disturbed, relax, and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe in, imagine breathing in a wonderful feeling of calm and relaxation. Breathing in that relaxation and exhaling that tension. As you allow yourself to experience a sense of calm, a sense of ever-increasing peace, allowing yourself to let go of any frustrations, worries, or stresses. As you breathe in and breathe out, I want you to use the power of your imagination to imagine an antique globe, a sphere of the earth, perhaps on one of those brass axles that enable it to spin, and you can just spin the globe around and see how much of the earth is just ocean. You can see the mass of the Arctic and the Antarctic, the continents. But I want you to focus your attention on the tropical islands. Maybe in the Atlantic, in the Caribbean, or in the Pacific. Perhaps all of those tiny islands in Micronesia. And as you spin the globe around, allow your unconscious to reveal a tropical island for you. And this island can be real, or it could just be an island created in your imagination. And just imagine holding your focus there on that island. And as you stare into the island on that globe, imagine what it would feel like that the globe becomes a planet and you become you in the sky, floating down from above to that island. And maybe you can see the whole island, or just the coastline. But just imagine gliding, flying, or floating above the island until you find a picturesque cove on that island. The kind of cove that means that the water inside the cove is already protected from big waves. Maybe you can imagine white sands and protective rocks, almost forming a reef, a barrier, to have that calm, settled sea within the cove. Allow yourself to float down until you're on that beach. A beach of white sands and crystal clear waters. And maybe the shape of the cove is very similar to a crescent moon. I want you to get a sense that you are the only one on this beach. I want you to get a sense that there is so much here to help you to fully relax now. From the sound of the breaking waves on the shore, to the feeling of the sun on your skin, I want you to get a sense that you are feeling more and more relaxed. You even get a sense that the combination of the water with the salts and the minerals, of just doing something with the ions that really help ground you, to make you feel calm, relaxed, and at peace. And I want you to imagine somewhere on this beach is the perfect place to relax. Maybe there is a comfortable sun lounger, or a large blanket, or even a hammock in the shade. But when you find the right place to relax, just imagine settling into that place. breathing in deeper, exhaling for longer. Get a sense of just how good it feels to drift into that place where change happens. And scan your body for any clues of tension or stress. Sometimes it's in the forehead, or the jaw, or the neck or the shoulders. And allow yourself to release it. There is no need for stress and worries and concerns here on this beach. So allow it to feel like it's melting away, like a child's ice cream in the sunshine. Just feel that tension melt. As I count downwards from 10 to 1, you will imagine your whole body relaxing even deeper. So whether it's a lounger or a blanket or a hammock, 10, just allow all of the tension in your face to feel like it's melting away now. 9, eyelids getting heavier and heavier. That's it. No desire to open them as they feel so relaxed. 8, your jaw just releasing any tension. And noticing how much effortless it feels to just breathe in and breathe out. That's it. 7 becomes 6, and just focus now on your neck and your shoulders as you imagine all tension, almost like crystals of ice locked into your muscle tissue, is just melting away under the sunshine, under the heat of that tropical sun. And then 5, just imagine your arms feeling limp, loose, heavy. A wonderful feeling that it almost feels like your arms are like limbs of a puppet without any strings, just limp and loose and relaxed. And then 4, as you breathe in, just imagine all of your internal organs, your lungs, your heart, your stomach, start to relax now. And then 3, into your gut. So any anxieties, any worries, they're sometimes there in the gut. Just allow them to untangle, unwind, be released, and let go now. That's it. And then 2, feel that relaxation spreading into your legs. As your legs feel limp, loose and relaxed all the way down to your toes, as 2 becomes 1, and then rippling up to the top of your head and down to the tips of your fingers. Feel a wonderful sense that you're relaxed now, and your mind can go to a place where things from your past don't need to affect your present or your future. And just imagine drifting off to a dreamlike sleep. And to begin with, you dream of yourself perhaps 1 year from now. And see that version of you filled with energy, vitality. I want you to get a sense that the idea of you in the future is living life on your terms, uncompromising. You've made a change for your reasons and nobody else's. And consider that just another seed planted in your mind. But then I want you to imagine that you are now dreaming that you are on the beach, seeing yourself fast asleep. In fact, you can check by lifting up a wrist and feeling your whole arm limp, loose and heavy, and then let it go and just get a sense that your conscious mind is now fast asleep, but your unconscious mind is alert and focused. And I want you to imagine walking somewhere on this beach where you see 2 very large buckets that are empty. Not normal size buckets, industrial size buckets. kind of buckets that are maybe 2 or 3 or 4 times larger than an average bucket that would carry water to a garden. And there's 2 of them. And notice the color, and notice the handle, and imagine picking them up, one in each hand, and feeling that they have some weight even with nothing in them. There you are on this picturesque beach, holding 2 empty large buckets. You can hear the waves breaking on the shore, and you're feeling relaxed, but this is about letting go of anything that has been holding you back, anything that no longer serves you. As you start to think that so many things at one point in your life were useful. Some people can remember owning a typewriter, a filofax, an old mobile phone. There were physical things you used to own that you don't own anymore because they're no longer useful. And I wonder if there's any emotions, strategies, or beliefs that were very useful once that are no longer useful for you now. So let's run through some emotions that you may still be holding on to that were useful once but aren't helping you now. As you find yourself standing there on the beach, I want you to scan your body for any sadness. Sometimes people feel sadness around the throat, around the heart. Many emotions have a location. And maybe that sadness was linked to something that was unfair, unjustified, unexpected. So scan your body for any feelings of sadness or sorrow. And the moment you find it, imagine that you've got the ability to release it from your physical body into those big buckets in each hand. And it doesn't have to be a liquid. You could imagine it as physical things like sand or stones, or perhaps it is a liquid of a particular color just draining from you into the buckets that represents any sadness. Your body feels lighter, but the buckets get heavier. And then scan your body for any anger. Quite often anger is justified. Things people did that they shouldn't have done. Where rules or standards or boundaries were violated or broken. Anger sometimes has a different location. Sometimes in the head, sometimes in the chest, sometimes in the gut. Sometimes even in the hands. But I want you to scan your body for where any echoes of anger are for you. Could even be the jaw, and just scan it. And when you find it, just imagine moving it from your physical body into those buckets. And each time you do it, you feel a wonderful feeling of release. Allow that anger to be released. You feel better for it, but the buckets feel heavier. Heavier and heavier. I want you to scan your body now for any shame. Shame can be a heavy emotion. And most people's shame isn't theirs to hold on to. It's the judgments of other people. Sometimes people will carry shame that is the responsibility of someone else. I want you to get a sense that if there is any shame in your body, you've already extracted all of the wisdom from it. You don't need to carry the weight of that shame anymore. So as you stare into the ocean, scan your body for any clues of shame and just allow it to be released. And feel those buckets getting heavier and heavier. It's now time to look for any regrets. The most common regrets are things you did, you wished you didn't. But some of the heavier regrets are things you never did but wish you did. You're wiser now. You can always make new decisions in the future, but wouldn't it be good to let go of the heaviness of those regrets? It might be linked to a specific memory, a moment, or even just a missed opportunity. So find the weight of those regrets. As you move them from you into the buckets are getting very heavy now. They feel uncomfortable in your hands. The weight of them might even be restricting your circulation. You've put sadness and anger and regrets. But now let's put I want you to put any frustrations, annoyances, those things you think you really shouldn't have to deal with, but you deal with them anyway. And these things may be recent or from years and years ago. Take them from you and feel the buckets getting heavier. And then look for guilt. Guilt is different to shame. Guilt is there to make you wiser, to raise your standards, not to punish you. So if there's anything that you still have echoes of guilt, keep the wisdom, but allow the guilt to flow into these buckets. And the buckets feel heavier and heavier. And then allow any feelings of anxiety, any fears. And many fears are valid. But I'm talking about the fears that are overreactions, unuseful fears, either things you can't change anyway, things from your past, or fears that are just holding you back in some way. Quite often fears are found right there in the gut, or there in the solar plexus, or niggling thoughts just behind one of your ears, and just shift them from you into the buckets. And maybe the buckets are almost full now. But I want you to scan your body for any clues of fears and beliefs that are holding you back. Any feelings of a lack of worthiness, any feelings of coercion or obligation, anything that you feel is still triggering you in some way, just allow them to shift from you into the buckets and feel your body's feeling lighter and the buckets are feeling heavier. It's an exchange. As you allow yourself to release any emotional baggage you've been holding on to, shifting from you into the buckets. And anything else you feel is holding you back, put them in the buckets too. And when it feels like your buckets can't handle anymore, just let me know by nodding your head. The weight of them, and then just imagine walking from the beach with those heavy, heavy buckets and wading out into the crystal clear waters of the ocean. And notice that the ocean itself is now supporting the weight of these buckets, and you wade out even further. The warm, tropical waters feel good. You feel a sense of empowerment, courage, and confidence. And when the time's right, just imagine emptying these buckets there into the ocean. And I want you to imagine two things. Any liquid in the buckets is being diluted by the ocean into nothingness. And anything physical, anything like an object, just imagine brightly colored tropical fish eating whatever was in the bucket. And imagine them swimming off, never to be seen again. And then return to the shore with empty buckets. Place them somewhere on the beach, knowing that you can always fill them up again if you need, but you may never need to. I want you to get a sense that what you've let go of is not memories, is not wisdom. It's just the emotional weight that wasn't serving you anyway. But that has now created a vacuum for you to be intentional with what you replace it with. The human mind is like nature. It doesn't like a vacuum. If you think of a forest, a tree can only grow in the forest if an old tree already falls down. That space in the canopy is filled very quickly. I want you to get a sense, with all that emotions you've let go of, what if you could replace them with empowering, useful emotions? Change the fear with optimism, the anger with feelings of self-love, acceptance. Give yourself permission to experience a whole new level of resilience, enthusiasm. I want you to get a sense that whatever you need most for the journey that you're on and the things that are happening in your life right now, feel that your body is absorbing these emotional states into your body. If it's energy you need, feel the energy coming. If it's creativity, tenacity, perspective, feel that whatever would be most helpful for you is being absorbed. You haven't lost emotions, you've just replaced them. Replace the emotions that were holding you back with emotions that will move you forward. And think about you a year from now. Not just slimmer, lighter, healthier, but see yourself with those same emotions you're absorbing now. higher levels of confidence, the ability to communicate boundaries clearly. I want you to get a sense that you are projecting a new level of almost an aura of invincibility. See that future version of you with more attention than you've had in perhaps a long time, and see yourself unfazed, untriggered by it. That might be passive-aggressive attention, genuine compliments, or someone bothering you, but see yourself handling it in a way that clearly communicates self-respect, self-confidence, clear boundaries. There is no slipping on a snake and going back to square one. There is no version of you that is trying to avoid or hide. See that future version of you acknowledging attention, not needing the attention, but occasionally receiving a compliment, and see you graciously accepting that, because it has taken determination and consistency, and you see a version of you worthy of all of that progress, all of that pride, and see that the energy is shifting. You don't dislike the attention. You're just discerning with what kind of attention you're comfortable with. You will accept positive, well-meaning attention, but anything that has an agenda, or perhaps is got some negative connotation, see yourself more distant or protective. But no need to go back to who you are. Your resources keep you safe now. And when it feels that you've let go of the past and you can see a future where you lose weight, enjoy the process, and feel comfortable in your own skin, in that version of you in the future, let me know by nodding your head. Now it's time to return to the present. Back through that spinning globe, back into your body, but taking all of these changes with you, feeling lighter, focused, determined, and clear as to who you are. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.